Is this better life? Yes? To put an end to craving. Why you want to put an end to craving? For what? To avoid suffering. Very good. So, when we give Dhamma to others, that means we pave the way for them to understand the true nature of life, the true nature of the world around us. When they begin to understand the true nature of life, the true nature of the world around them, then they begin to see that everything in this world is unstable, not satisfactory, uncertain. That is what you call dukkha, suffering or unsatisfactoriness. So when they begin to see these things, when you have any problem, when you have trouble, suffering, what happens in your mind? Do you want to continue to suffer? Or what do you want? You want to get out. Get out. In order to get out of the problem, in order to get out of troubles, what must you do? Firstly, before you purify the mind, you must find out. You must know what is the cause of the problem. Because when you are sick, when you go and see the doctor, what does the doctor do? First, the doctor try to find out what is the cause of the sickness. Then he knows this is the cause of the sickness. And then, as soon as he knows this is the cause, he also knows whether he can cure it or not. Right? And then he knows what prescription to give. This is why the Buddha was regarded as the great physician, the great doctor. That's why the Buddha was given that title. What? Vaisajja Guru. You know? Vaisajja Guru. Have you heard of that? What is that? Medicine Buddha. That Vaisajja Guru is Vaisajja. Have you heard this? The Sanskrit Vaisajja and Pali Vaisajja. Guru, teacher of medicine. So later on, in order to introduce this great quality of the Buddha, so the Buddhists have formed one Buddha and call that Buddha Healing Buddha, or Vaisajja Guru. But in reality, the Buddha himself had this great quality. He is regarded as the greatest physician. And the method that he uses to help others to overcome their suffering, he uses a very scientific method. First, he analyzes and sees the cause. First, he sees the disease, sees the suffering, gives the cause, then see whether it can be ended. And he himself have gone through and realized that suffering can be ended. And so he overcome that suffering, and he knows how to overcome it. And then he knows the prescription. So that is the real Dhamma that the Buddha has given to others. So when we talk about truth, the truth of life, we are referring to that knowledge, the knowledge which enables us to overcome suffering, to overcome problems, to overcome conflicts. Is that clear? What is truth? From the point of view in Buddhism, the truth is that knowledge which helps us to overcome suffering. So every time there is suffering in your mind, think of what? Think of? Think of the Buddha. When you think of the Buddha, you also think of the Dhamma, and then think of the Sangha. These are what you call the triple gem. Triple gem. Buddha we regard as the all-enlightened teacher. The Dhamma is the teachings. The Sangha, what? The taught. The ones who have been taught, who have been trained, who have been taught, who have been trained. These are the Sangha, the community, the spiritual community who have been taught and trained and who have realized the various stages of purification. So that is what we mean by giving of Dhamma, right? And it excels all gifts. Why? Why is it that Dhamma is the most excellent, the most unique of gift? Why? Why? Universal law. Why? Priceless. Not satisfied. Not satisfactory. Yes. It leads sentient beings to Nibbana. Yes. Some more? So why? It leads beings to Nibbana. So what? Help to put an end to suffering. But what about the gift of food, gift of clothing? They are also very good, isn't it? Yes, that's right. In order to explain this, when you say that the gift of Dhamma excels all other gifts, people will ask you this question. Why do you say that? The gift of Dhamma excels all other gifts. You cannot say that is universal, that is the truth. They will ask you, why is it that gift of truth is the highest gift? Then you must explain to them the other kinds of gifts that you can give to others. Right? What are the other gifts that you give to them? Food. People come and give you food. Is it good? No good. You better don't tell no good. The others come to know tomorrow they won't win. Good. It is also, it's good. That giving is good. But after you have eaten the food, how long does that food last? 4 hours. Now you're hungry. No. In your case, you keep there for how many hours? For nearly 16 hours, isn't it? 16, 17 hours, no? Anyway, really, the food in your body, for most people, they last only for 5 hours. But in your case, you have extended this time. Have to. You train to extend this food long time. And so the food, when you give, after that, you require some more food. No? Every day you require to take that food again. And in the same manner, the clothing also. You give clothes to others. How long does it last? 2 years? All the dresses that you wear, the clothes that you wear, you last 2 years? Yes? Oh, some 2 years, 3 years, okay.
I have one robe with me. I've been using for 25 years.
Oh, there. See? You heard? Chief Reverend says that he has one robe that he has been using for 25 years. Yes. So that is how you see this way of life, we simplify our needs. But in the case of those who wear, those what you call, I do not know what, jeans or whatever, I do not know all the brands now, forgotten all of them. And how long can they use? It may be good quality, but fashion is over. Even if they can use that, but their body, no? Body become either too big or too small, or too short, change, cannot use. But in our case, we can just, the size doesn't matter, isn't it? You grow a little bit fat or a little bit thin, you can still use. So you can see this usefulness of it. So why not keep it? Keep to this. Don't use the other dresses. And not all can wear. Oh, you. And now that you have learned, you can use these things. No. So anyway, clothes also cannot last forever. And all the other things that you give to others, shelter also. You build houses, shelter. How long does it last? Then you find leaking, white ants come and attack, or windows broken. So you need to repair these things. Similarly, medicine, whatever that you give to them, they need some more. You give one medicine, they need another medicine. So because one medicine gives rise to another side effect, so you need another medicine for that side effect. You give that second one, you need a third one. There are this kind of, because these gifts are good, but they are not unique of gift, because whatever you give, these material things, it is a recurring need. That means it cannot last. After some time, again the need arises. But if you give the Dhamma, if you can point out the truth, and you can give the truth to others, and others realize this truth, when they realize this truth, what happens? They know what is the cause of suffering. When they remove the cause, remove the craving, then do they need anything? No more. No more craving, no more suffering. There is no more birth, no old age, no sickness, no death. Yes, that's right. Old age, sickness, death. That is what this truth leads to. The real Dhamma, the true Dhamma leads one to be free from old age, sickness, death. So no need any food, no need any clothing. That is why this Dhamma is, the gift of Dhamma is considered as the most unique of gift. Okay? Alright. So now you know the three kinds of dana. Now what is the advantage of giving? What is the benefits? What do you gain by giving? When you give, you lose, isn't it? What do you think? When you give, you gain happiness. Right? Right. The purpose. The purpose of giving is to reduce our greed, our attachment. To reduce greed and attachment, we give to others. But what is the advantage? What is the result that we get through giving? Happiness? Yes. Yes. What else? Yes? Merits. Oh, you all want a lot of merits. Yes, last night also you say one merits, today also you say one merits. You know, what are these merits? Happiness. When the word merit, in Pali, in the Buddhist term, we say punya. Punya. You know this term? Punya means merit. A meritorious action, the nature of meritorious action is such that when you perform that action, it gives rise to happiness in the mind. And it helps to purify, it helps to cleanse the mind. Understand? It helps to cleanse the mind. So when your mind is happy and your mind is purified by that meritorious actions, then what do you do? That is how we say we perform meritorious actions. And we give, you say you give merit, transfer merit to others, share merits to devas. How do you share these things? And you say, we accumulate merits. Can you keep merits in the bank? Here, it means that when you perform all these meritorious actions, it gives rise to happiness. And this happiness that comes up while you are performing, not only while you are performing that action, but before you actually perform the good action. From the time you think of doing the good action, such as giving something to others, that happiness has arisen in the mind. Although it is only a momentary kind of happiness. Now take the instance where you think you invite the monks to your house. And then you say, you fix a date. Such a date you invite. Now from that moment you invite, that mind, happiness arises when they accept your invitation. Then you begin to think what to buy, what to get, what to cook. So that is before the action. Then they come to the house and you have the opportunity to serve them. Right? Then you are happy. There's happiness there. Then after that, after some time, when you think this monk has already gone somewhere, and then you say, oh, then suddenly you see him again. Then, oh, I know that monk. Last time I invited him to my house. I gave dana. When you think of that, what the good action that you have done, you are also happy. See? So that happiness arises before the actual performance, during the action, and the after the action. So in order to purify, in order to perfect our giving, we must have mindfulness and awareness so that we can maintain the happiness throughout this period, these 3 periods. Otherwise, what happens is we perform the good action, but we can easily spoil that good action, because when we invite, we happily invite the monk. Then after that, when we go back, we start counting how much money we are going to spend. Oh, then says, I should not have invited all of them. To invite 2 of them will do. Now, what is happening in the mind? What is the cause of that? What is the culprit? The mental factor called macharya or stinginess, lobha, greed, has arisen in the mind and give rise to this kind of thought. If this thought is not there, then you can maintain that happiness until at a point when you give. And when you give the food, and you see the monk eat so little, and sometimes you come, they don't even eat your food, they eat some other people's food, then you get very upset. Then you think, next time I don't give anymore. You spoil your merit again. Because what you have given, that they have accepted, be happy about it. That is how. It's only when you maintain the purity, when you develop your mindfulness, awareness, then you can purify your giving. Sometimes people give something, but after the action they regret. church should not have given so much. Huh? Then they spoil the good action. So, please try. When you learn this, try to improve, try to perfect your giving, dana, so that you can maintain that happiness. What is the advantage? When you have that happiness in your mind, it is only with a happy mind that you can concentrate. Right? You can concentrate. When you can concentrate, then you will be able to focus your mind. When you are able to focus your mind, then you can radiate your thoughts. That is how you can transmit the thoughts and even contact others, other beings. For that, merits are important. Merits are important so that it is the basis. It helps to cleanse the mind of certain defilement, particularly that with regards to greed, hatred, and delusion. Because when you are angry with us, do you want to come and give something? When you get angry with us, then you don't come to give. Even your parents ask you to give, you go somewhere else and give some other people. When you are angry, you don't give. When there is greed, you don't give. When there is confusion in your mind also, ignorance, because you don't understand the real meaning, the real significance of giving also, this action is not performed. So at the time of giving, when you give that action, you are purifying your mind from these defilements, greed, hatred, delusion. This is how it is a merit. It helps to purify, it cleans the mind from these defilements. Right? So merits are important. It paves the way for you to grow, for you to succeed in life. Whether it be materially or spiritually, you need this kind of merits. What is the result of giving? What is the result of dana? Do you know the story during the time of the Buddha? You know one famous monk who, wherever he goes, he gets a lot of food. You know his name? What is his name? What is his name? No. Rahula did not get very much food. Not as famous as you, no? There is one monk who is very famous, and sometimes people put his photograph and they hang the photograph in the kitchen so that they can get a lot. They believe that they can get a lot of food, so the kitchen will be always full of food. Sivali, Arahan Sivali, Arahan Sivali during the time of the Buddha. You know the practice during the time of the Buddha usually goes out in the morning to collect alms, to collect food from the villagers. And sometimes when he travels from place to place, and disciples, followers follows him. So sometimes he enters villages with a few hundred monks. How many monks can you feed? Now, if a few hundred monks go to your place, can you feed all? Difficult. So this also, when the monks go out for alms rounds, because they no prior invitation, on the spur of the moment they go out like that. Sometimes they have to go to new villages. So in certain villages, Nobody knows that these are monks and that they require food. So difficult to get food in certain villages. So when there are many monks, then the Buddha thinks, where is Sivali, the Venerable Sivali? Call him up. Because he is well known. Wherever he goes, even to strange places, his bowl is always full and overflowing with food. And so, why? Then some of the monks asked the Buddha, how is it that he receives so much food? We follow behind, our bowl also not full. But his bowl how many times full already? Why? What is the cause of this? Then the Buddha told them, you know Sivali. In his previous life, he has given food. What was actually his previous life story? Exactly, I do not know. But you know his life story? Please find out, and you can tell the real story. But the general story is like this, that Buddha said that he has given food in the past. And this is his strong action, strong karma. So wherever he goes, he gets food. That is why those people who come and give food to you every day, and when you give food every day to others with pure mind, then you don't worry. Anywhere you go, you will have food. From birth to birth, you won't die of hunger. You know, when the child is born, they go and consult the what book is that? Yesterday somebody said that book, Tong Su. They check that book and then they see. Then the monk or Akko, he said, oh, this child, bring with him how many sack of rice, right? So many sack of rice, so many sack of gold. But some child don't bring gold. So to balance up, they put the gold metal to their name, because they did not bring gold. So they give the gold to their name, so call them gold, to balance up. So that is because of the karma, because of the action that they have done in the past. You give food to others. But food alone cannot make you happy all the time, isn't it? What else do you need to make yourself comfortable? You need clothing, right? So we must also learn to give clothes. And during the time of the Buddha also, there's one monk who was very famous for what? Receiving robes and blankets, warm clothing. Everywhere he goes, people give him that, a lot of clothes, blankets. So he distributes it to the other monks. Then one day, who is that? I think, was it Kasapa, is it? I am not sure. Is that right? And anyway, later the other monks asked the Buddha, how is it that this monk gets so many robes and so many blankets? Then the Buddha focused the mind And then the Buddha was able to see the past lives of that monk. Then the Buddha explained, you know why? Because so many lives ago, when he was living in a small village, and he was very poor. At that time, he did not have much clothes on. He had only one piece of cloth to cover his body. And even this piece of cloth he shared with the wife. And they take turn to go out to buy food and then come back. They were so poor as that. But when this man saw a Buddha passing by his house, he had that thought of giving something, and he had nothing else to give but this piece of cloth. So what did he do? Even that piece of cloth he took out, and he waited until Buddha passed, and then he threw that cloth from upstairs, threw it, and he remained in the building. Because of this action, though he was poor, even that very cloth that he had on him, he was prepared to give that up. So that karma is a very strong karma. Not only is that action pure, but also the field of merit is also pure. That is why that action has become a very great action. Because the degree of the merit, the karma that you perform, depends also on not only on the giver, but also on the receiver, the ones who receive. Do you know, when you give food to the worms, you think they appreciate? They can tell the taste of food? And different. When you feed good people, virtuous people, you prolong their lives. You help to prolong their lives. With that lives, they do service. They render services to others. Then when you associate, when you come to think, when you come to know that such a one is doing so much good and that you have supported, you have given him, you are happy. And then this is how the field of merit, just as there are different fields, different grounds. Certain ground, when you plant the seeds, mango seed, that ground, if it is not fertile, the seed will not grow. If it is a little fertile, the seed will grow. But if it is not sufficiently fertile for it, there will be no fruits. But when you plant on very fertile ground, you will see the fruit, and you will see the plant grows very healthily. So that is why when we give, we talk also about the field of merits. And what are the highest field of merits? Buddha said, if one can give to the Buddha, the Sangha, the incomparable field of merits. Individually, the highest field of merit, the Buddha. In the the absence of the Buddha, then the Pajeka Buddha. In the absence of Pajeka Buddha, the Sravaka Buddha, the Arahants. In the absence of the Arahants, then the ones who have attained to the path and the fruition, they are the highest field of merits. In the absence of such beings, then there are those who strive to attain to those path and fruition. So in that degree, you find the field, incomparable field of merit. So, to perfect our giving, we should maintain the happiness, maintain the good state of mind before the action, during and after. And that is why there is this tradition of offering. How different countries, different Buddhist countries have slightly different tradition. That in Sri Lanka, the people will come and serve and offer the food. They themselves come. So when they offer food, you should accept it. I see some of you, people offer, when they offer, then you accept that. Because they do it. So when you accept, then you give happiness. They are happy, these things. No? So we also must know to give them happiness. Make them happy too. No? There is also a saying, the more you eat, the more merits they get. No? So that is why they feed a lot, and that's why we become fatter and fatter. And so we must learn to tell them, give, and because we can give them happiness in other ways also. Then we learned the field of merits, the giver, the purity of the giver, and the purity of the receiver. Then the merit become very strong. So if we want to lead a happy, luxurious life, then it is important for us to continue to perform merits. So whatever you give, you receive. Whatever you have given is what you have received. Whatever you keep with you, they are not yours. They are not really yours. Do you think so? Whatever you keep at home, in your cupboard, are they yours? Not really yours. Because you cannot take that away with you. How long can you keep that? Another 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years you can keep them. Then what happened? If you are lucky, nobody takes it, or it does not get burnt, or the flood does not sweep it away. If you are that lucky, one day when you die, will you take along with you all the beautiful clothing, all the money that you have kept? You don't take along with you. Only thing is they give you not the real one, they give you the bluff one. They put all the what you call a banana money. They make special money. They don't burn the real money. They don't put the real money. I have not seen real money. At the most, they put one pearl there, or something. Huh? But they don't put. I think the clothes also, the new ones they don't put. Old ones they put in, I think. And then after that they pack it up with what you call paper. And then they send you away. Huh? Oh yes. Now he knows another way is this, Huh? Sign blank check. Oh. Huh. Oh, I see. Oh, I see. So now the son, very liberal one, is it? Okay, since you have left so much money, I sign this check, give you, put there. Secure. No cross check, cash check also, provided they have got a bank to cash. But be careful, because if you give a cash check, then if the undertaker sees, they know how to undercut that. So, see, these are the things that we see. We cannot take along with us all these things. So that is why we say that whatever we keep with us, they are not really ours. But the things that you have given, all the things that you give, you have generated what you call wholesome karma, merits. This merit, this good karma, you take along with you. These are the two things that you take along with you when you die. What are these two things? The good and the bad action. Because of the goodness, because of the things that you have given to others, the good action that you have given, you are born in a certain place. You are born in a certain family with all the necessary material things and more. That is why the Buddha, having perfected his dana parami, having perfected his giving, in his last birth, how the Buddha perfected his giving in the Jataka called the Vesantara Jataka. And we will tell you this story later on. There is in videotape. If you want to watch video, videotape. I saw this video, very touching one. Vesantara Jataka. How many hours? 6 hours, is it? How many? About 6 hours. So you cannot watch here. I do not know, 6 or 12 hours. 6 tapes, I think. 6 tapes. And long one, and all very beautifully. In fact, this was done. They had done this in Thailand to commemorate the 60th birthday of the king, because they love the king so much. So just they consider the king just as the parami, the bodhisattva parami of giving. And they made this film and very touching story in Thai. They made this film and very touching story in Thai, yes. But you can get it translated, translate it, and you see that you can learn a lot from this. So if you want to see video, you can try to get these tapes. And so in this, we learn how the giving from life to life, from life to life, and perfect your giving. And because of what you have given, this is what you receive. Now, you are born in a particular place and family with all the material needs and comfort, also because of your karma. So, you want to enjoy life, you must continue the good action. Otherwise, what you are doing is you are only spending the goodness, the good actions what you have done in the past. You are reaping it now, you are enjoying now. And if you do not perform more good action, then it is just like eating stale food, no? Those actions which you have performed in the past, they are already stale ones, no new ones, no fresh actions. So this is why continually avoid evil, do good, then it will pave the way for you to be able to develop and purify your mind. So this way we can understand dana. How we to give the meaning of dana and also the purpose. These are the things that you have to understand. One is to ask this question: what is dana? To understand the meaning, what is dana? Then, next question is to ask why. Why do we perform this action? Then, how to perform this action? How to perform this action? So, the what, the why, how, when can we perform this action? When can you perform giving? Some people perform giving only once a year. On Memorial Day, you see. This is what you call the Memorial Day Buddhist. You can perform this anytime, all the time. And because you can give in various ways. Right. It is because of the Dhamma that you have given to others that you have the opportunity to receive the Dhamma too. So now, any question? We leave some time for you to question about dana. If anything that is not clear to you about the Buddhist concept of dana, giving. So if you... Yes? Yeah. Yes, that means he asked if you refuse to accept a dana, and does it mean that you, what you call, you deny the other to perform merits? But in a way, you can see it in that way too. That is why we should try, as far as possible, not to refuse a kind offer. Not to refuse a kind offer. We try as far as possible. So if we cannot accept in one way, then we can say that you can give in this another way. Understand? But if that person has got a strong view and say, I must give only this way, then we do our part. Now, when there are very few monks here, and many people learn that it is good to give, and sometimes when they want to give dana, because they say gives to the Sangha, Sangika dana, very good to give Sangika dana. So they want 4 or 5 monks to come to their home. How many monks are there here? Of course, now have. But also, Sangika dana, only the monks, higher ordained monks. So when there are so few monks, and many people want to give dana, so naturally, we have to tell them. In this case, we advise them. Dana Not only dana, now observe sila. If cannot do dana, we tell them to observe sila, or do bhavana. Give them the opportunity to practice these things, right? So, if you have opportunity to do dana, do. If you have no opportunity, there are other things you can do, meritorious action. So, because there are other meritorious action, not only this one meritorious action, but when you have the occasion, you can do it. And so that is why, when there are certain traditions, when they offer the food, then in Sri Lanka they will serve the food, and then you eat it, they are happy, And in Burma, they will watch. They will put the food and offer. Then they will watch you eat, and and if you don't pass your food, then not so happy. But if you at least take a little bit, they go, So that is why sometimes they take a little bit, here, there, just to. So if they want to offer, never mind, they don't offer. That's why sometimes they put a plate they want to offer. Understand? Yes. What are the things that you cannot give that will be harmful to the receiver? Yes? Don't give drugs. Don't offer drugs. Don't give poisons. Yes, there you know already, And then what else? Don't give people to wrong groups. Wrong? Or wrong livelihood. Well, actually, there are different fields of marriage. And even if you give to an animal, even if you feed the worm, it is a meritorious action. Understand? Although the degree of the merit is not as high as feeding, perhaps, a human being, a fellow human being. So there are these different degrees. Understand? We should not have that fixed view that we should not give at all to these beings. The fact that you can give them, if you have the opportunity to give them, then you can help them to promote this good thought in your mind that you can help them, that they can live or they can sustain their life and change their view. So that is why when you give, also give with wisdom. That's where when you come to study the Dhamma, then you know the Dhamma, so you know whom you should give to. And when you give, you must know that then you can give you give Dhamma also to them. Then they can grow. If lazy fellows, there are some lazy fellows, and you give them, then you are only encouraging more and more laziness. So when you come to know that that person is so lazy, then give a little bit and make that person work, and then you give more. Then you are giving it with wisdom. Yes. He says this, that just now I have said that the field of merit, the highest field of merit to give to Samma Sam Buddha, individual, right? And then the rest given to other beings. He says that if everybody practices want to give to the highest field of merit, want to give to the Buddha, then what happened to the other lower beings? What do you think? No. What is your answer? You should give to the needed what? Immediate needed one. Some more? Anything? Think, yes? Why? Very good. Very good. Because that question is wrongly posed. That question assumes something which is a fallacy, which actually cannot happen. Because this question was posed to me like this when I became a monk. No? When I became a monk, people asked me, they asked me this question. You become a monk, if everybody were to be like you, become monk, what would happen in this world? Then, at that time, I kept quiet. But later, somebody asked this question also. Then, little wisdom, then I asked them, do you want to become monk? Now put him in this position. If he say yes, then come and join. If he say no, then my answer is that you will be left there. Are you quite happy? Because we have to understand, according to the nature of life, that different people are at different levels of understanding. Everybody cannot have the same level, the same thought. Understand? That is why there are different beings in this world. They have different levels of understanding. You think one way, your brother sister think another way. You see? Two persons cannot think exactly the same way because of our past conditions. You see? So that is why it is not possible for everyone to want to give to Sama Sambuddha also. Not one thing. And even if they want to give also, not everyone has that kind of what you call the merit, the kind of goodness to give, to reach. Do you know when the Buddha appears in the world, he is all enlightened, but how many people take the opportunity to, how many people go to respect him and this? He moves around. Some people come, they heard, they respect him. Some people look, although they have heard about him, they just say, hi, go away. Some people, they don't. Even during the lifetime of the Buddha, not everybody take that opportunity. Some had the opportunity to see the Buddha and approach the Buddha and listen to the Buddha also. And after that, although many of them, after listening, they had confidence, and then it paved the way for them to open their minds and open their hearts. But there were others, those who had fixed views in their minds. Then there are certain discourses where certain Brahmin go to the Buddha and ask certain question, and when he received the reply, he was not satisfied. He put out his tongue, he said so, and then he walked away. So there are some very rude ones also to the Buddha. The different levels of understanding, different degrees. So that question, if everybody, that Now you see the flow in that question? Yes.
I'm referring to the solution, not only one person.
Hmm.
After society.
Yes.
And nowadays, if you neglected the person in the society, they really need some help.
Hmm.
Then what about if they really pay attention to someone society? What about them? Really
Oh, there are other people, you know. Now, how many members are there of the Buddhist Missionary Society here? And how many come to offer dana to you? Huh? Some are thinking of welfare homes, and sometime during this thing they will collect donations from you also, to go welfare homes. Very soon, Chinese New Year season, they will go to, where is this? Old folks home, they will go to different places. So, different people, according to their level understanding, then they like to give certain groups of people, understand? So what we are saying is that it cannot happen for all people. Okay. But what you are trying to clarify is, your doubt is this, that we should not always want to give only monks only. We should not confine just to that idea only. No? And then when you only give monks without helping the others, then what happens is those people see that only monks receive these things, so they get jealous. Then conflict can arise. Understand? So you can give the monks and also try to help others also. We don't say that this is the highest and this is the only thing, right? That is why we say there are three kinds of gifts. This is the highest gift, but we also promote. You must promote this giving also. No? Amisadana. Otherwise you are in trouble for the next, 1.5 weeks or so. Then, Avadana. These are the things. Yes. Yes. Wish to give now. If a man has taken the food and sufficient already, should we give it to another person who needs it, who is hungry? No. Dosage.
How much Dhamma did you learn today? Morning, afternoon? Now you are traveling with Dana. These questions just now posed by our young novice monk is actually not a joke. This question was posed to me by a Christian priest. He will be coming here very soon. The author of Two Masters, One Message, Dr. Roy Amo. He will be here on the 17th and 18th. I will arrange him to speak to you. He asked this question. Devotees or Buddhists always try to feed those monks who get more than enough food. In fact, they come and force the monk to eat. And they reject. They say they cannot eat. No, please, little bit, please. But there are millions of others who are starving without food. So how can you preach that you gain more merits by offering to these monks while others are starving? Why can't you preach to your disciples, your devotees, to go and serve those who are starving and dying without food? That is why I told you this is a very big allegation. against our way of practicing this religion? The answer was given by the Buddha. There is no place where the Buddha has mentioned that Buddhists must give only to religious people or Buddhists or monks. When you read Buddhist literature, you can see this word, to whom that you give. Kapanadika, Vanibbaka, Yachaka, Sramana, Brahmana. There are so many names in the Buddhist literature. Not confined only to Buddhist monks. Beggars and orphans and those who really need, and the followers of other religions also. The Buddha has encouraged us to offer, to support even the followers of other religions also. Then Sramana, monks, Brahmana, Hindu priest. These words you can find in the Buddhist literature. Therefore, we cannot say that Buddhism encourages give only to the monk. So that allegation is wrong, that we say we must give only the Buddhist monk. Then let us refer to the Buddha. Again, what he has mentioned in one of his discourses. The name of this discourse is called Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutra in Anguttara Nikaya. It is mentioned how to give. If you really need gaining something in return for your giving, yes, it is true. It is natural. It is natural, not created by the Buddha or by Buddhism. In another place, he says, Dānaṁ khalu sabhavena sagga manusa bhogata. Naturally, when we offer something, we gain material things or pleasure or worldly pleasure, either in this world or in Devaloka, where we can experience more worldly pleasures. It is natural. Whether they are Buddhist or otherwise, whether they have religions or not, whether they believe it or not, immaterial. This is natural. Remember, the way how Buddha preaches. Not necessary for you to believe that you gain. Naturally you gain. But parinama vaseneva hotumukhu panisthaya. The ultimate aim of our giving is not to gain worldly pleasures or material gain, because there are so many other ways and means for us to achieve, to gain many things. The purpose, the main purpose is to find out our final salvation by reducing our selfish desire. Now that is the dangerous thing. The main purpose of giving is to reduce selfish desire. Unless you aspire for that, you never gain it. You had to make up your mind, you had to aspire that the main purpose of my giving is to reduce my selfish desire, to see the end of worldly or physical or mental suffering. That is called nirvana. Unless you aspire, you never gain it. But worldly pleasures and happiness you gain whether you aspire or not. Understand? Then, in Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutra, it is mentioned, when you give some food or anything to, say, animals, definitely you gain some merit. There is no doubt. Again, you give some food to a very wicked man, very dangerous man, like thugs and gangsters, you give some food. Yes, you gain more merit than offering to an animal, because he is a human being. The life of a human being and the life of an animal, you can see the different values. Human values are there still. Then you offer to somebody who observe at least one precept, virtues. Then you gain more merits than the others that you gain from the wicked man's suffering. Then go on increasing. Virtuous man, religious man, pious man, go on. Then more and more merit. This is natural. Then you offer your food to a religious person who has attained the first stage of sainthood, Sotapan. He is no more worldly minded man. Then you get more. Then who attain the second stage of sainthood, Sakadagam. Then the third stage of sainthood, Anagami. Then the fourth stage, the highest stage of sainthood, Arahant, more merit. After that, you offer to a Buddha, higher than an Arahant. Then turn the other way around. See the Buddha's attitude. He said, if you can offer the Buddha together with his disciple, the monk, then you gain more merit. So we should not think that we gain more merit by offering only to the Buddha. But this is natural. If you really need merits, yes. But the main purpose is not this worldly material gain. But you can cultivate or aspire by offering to any living beings in this world to reduce your selfish desire. If you can reduce your selfish desire by offering to animals also, you can cultivate. Not necessary to consider who receive your food or anything. Now this is the Buddha's way of teaching. Then Buddhists should not act foolishly, emotionally, simply by using their emotions or devotion without considering. They have to think. There are many people who try to come and bluff you, swindle you. They pretend they are in trouble, they are poor, they have no food, without considering and studying at once you give. Yes, you gain merit, but you did not act wisely to study. Do you know, a few days ago, a man came here, told me he is not a Buddhist. Even then he wants to donate $10,000 to this temple. He doesn't like to give any other temple or any other religion. He is not a Buddhist. I say, very good. Then after talking and talking and talking, he said, tomorrow I can bring the money. Now I want to go and find out one more witness to sign my application. So I have no money to go by taxi. Can I have $2? So I did not act foolishly. I say, sorry. I am not the kind-hearted fools. We have to act wisely. There are many of our devotees here who were bluffed and fooled more than 100 times, but still they are doing the same thing. I have given them this warning. Certain people come by using yellow robe also, pretending they are monks and telling all sort of cock and bull stories and bluff these people, collect lot of money. And they collect money even without telling us, secretly. They do with good intention, but they encourage those people to mislead others. That is why I told you, you have to act wisely. No doubt you get some merit by offering, but should not encourage. When you come to know they are trying to bluff you, you must know how to behave. Don't become victims to them very easily. So, anything else? Yes, I still got time. When you were discussing about the Dhamma, this is a very interesting word. So you must learn item by item to keep in your record. So today you must learn the real meaning of this word, Dhamma or Dharma. Because just now Mahinda explained Sabbadhanam, Dhammadhanam, Jinati. This is only the first line. Then again, Sabbang Rasang, Dhamma Rasang Jinati. Sabbang Rating, Dhamma Rating Jinati. Tanhakhayo Sabba Dukkhang Jinati. The whole stanza. Dhamma. This Dharma, Sanskrit or Pali, the root of this word is dhar. Dhar means uphold or hold. Dhar. For instance, this earth is called dharani. Dharani means that which hold everything. Therefore, earth is called dharani. So, dharma, taught by the Buddha, gives this meaning. Now, this is the definition. You shouldn't worry about the Pali. Chatusu apayesu cha vatta dukkhesu cha apatamane kattva dhareti dhammo. The definition. Very beautiful. Chatusu apaya. 4 kinds of miserable states where we have to suffer after our death. What are those 4 stages? Hell, ghost, devils or ghost or spirit, dividing into 2 groups. Then animals. These are the unfortunate state of existence. Rebirth can take place in one of those places according to our way of life, not according to our belief. Remember this. You can have any kind of rubbish as your belief, thinking if you follow this very easily you can go to heaven, and all these are belief imaginations, no meaning at all. Just because you believe, it never happened. But things take place according to your way of thinking, way of talking, way of doing things. Good and bad, good and bad, good and bad. And these things are going on molding every minute. You understand? People believe that only after their death somebody decide where to send, whether upward or downward. It is not there. Every minute we are molding our next life. Remember, the way how we think, cruelty, anger, jealousy, grudge and greed and evil things are molding. And kindness, compassion, understanding, sympathy and honesty, molding. Again, the word that we use, dirty, ugly, wicked, cruel, harmful, and kind word to support others, assist others. Again, we do certain things by violating, disturbing others, killing, destroying, bluffing others. These three things are going on molding, accumulating up to the last breath. So when we are going to die, last night I told you how indication, signs appear in the mind. What we have accumulated. Then another existence or rebirth take place according to our way of this accumulation of good and bad karma. There is nobody to interfere. They have nothing to do with it. The Buddha also has nothing to do with this. The God also has nothing to do with this. Your own karma. You are responsible for that. That is why it is necessary for you to learn earlier. At the last moment you cannot learn anything. Those can go and pray, saying, oh, don't worry, we can send you to heaven. And they do not know what will happen to you after your death. So these are imagination. Don't trust, don't believe what they preach and what they tell. So you have to take the responsibility of your life. Don't depend on another person. Understanding is important for that. So dharma means when we cultivate our way of life without violating any of those existing universal laws. These universal laws were not created by God or Buddha or anybody. Natural. If we violate, we have to face the consequences. So our duty is to harmonize, to cooperate with the existing universal law. That is called dharma. Now if you kill a person, you violate natural law. You have robbed a life by force. For that you can say sugar-coated word. Mercy killing, gentle killing, killing for food, killing for this, these are your justification. But what you have done is, you have separated life from a body, physical body. That is the only thing that religion takes, not your intention, why you want to kill. Whether you kill for your food, whether you kill to take revenge, whether you kill for something else, all these are your own way of thinking. But natural law never agree with your intention. Remember this. Never cooperate with you. I kill him because he is my enemy. But the natural law never agree with you. Therefore, we must know how to harmonize and cooperate with the natural law. That is called dharma. There are precepts, sila, morals, ethics, dharma. So if we uphold this dharma, after our death, rebirth never take place. The guarantee is there. We never become animals again, never become spirit or ghost, and never go to hell to suffer. The dharma support us. Dharma doesn't allow us to fall down. The meaning of Dharma. Another further interpretation. Vatta dukkhesu cha apatamane katva dhareti. Sansara dukkha. The wheel of existence. Although we are free for the time being, but there is no guarantee that we never commit evils again. What about in the next life? There is no guarantee. So, this uncertainty is there. So when we uphold this Dharma, we will be able to get rid of this wheel of existence, repeated birth and death and birth and death and birth and death, able to get out from this wheel. The Dharma support us, pave the way, and never remain within this cycle of birth and death to suffer more and more and more and again and again and again. Now, this is the meaning of Dharma taught by the Buddha. Now you can understand why we introduce the teachings of the Buddha as Dharma. It is not a religion actually, it is Dharma. Can you remember? The meaning of Dharma, meaning of Buddhism is there. The word religion is very, very vague. To us there is no real meaning of this word religion.